New Year's Day, the mistress sends a voice message taunting Mr. Liu. He spent New Year's with me. You're just for show. I put him on speaker. All the relatives are staring at him. My husband's face turned ashen. My most humiliating spring festival in 3 years of marriage. The Liu family mansion was overheated on New Year's Day. Every seat taken, every face wearing a perfunctory smile. My mother-in-law, Wang Xiaoying, was holding her antique porcelain teacup with the gold trim, beaming with pride as she boasted to the whole room of relatives. Our Liu Chen is just too dedicated. Working late on New Year's Eve. The family's true pillar. She paused, warmly taking my hand and patting it. Luckily, we have our Wei, so gentle and obedient. Manages the household flawlessly, never a worry for us. Having a daughter-in-law like her is a blessing I've earned. Gentle and virtuous. For 3 years, that was the only cloak I wore. My survival disguise in this ice-cold marriage. I smiled, perfectly timing it to refill my uncle-in-law's tea. My fingertips didn't tremble once. Only I knew. The wasteland of frozen earth inside my heart. Just then, my phone on the side table lit up. A crisp notification shattered the room's false harmony. Wang Xiaoying's monologue interrupted. She glanced over. Who's looking for Wei on holiday? She's so popular. I calmly picked up the phone. The sender's name hit like an ice pick, instantly piercing my numb nerves. Su Wan'er, Liu Chen's secretary. That name, over the past year, had appeared far too often for just work. I didn't hesitate. In fact, with a self-destructive thrill, under the curious stares of every relative in the hall, I directly tapped that voice message and pressed the speakerphone button. Liu Chen, beside me, basking in the flattery, froze. His face changed instantly. He instinctively reached for the phone. His hand hung midair, too late. A voice, sickeningly sweet yet dripping venom. A woman's voice. Crystal clear, blasted from the phone speaker. Filling the Liu family's lavish main hall. Director Lin, Mr. Liu. He spent the whole New Year's Eve and day with me. That Director Lin was both distant and triumphant. A naked victor's tone. Every conversation in the room died. The proud smile vanished from Wang Xiaoying's face. Before she could even retract it, it froze into a comical grimace. The voice message played on without a single pause. Every word was enunciated with crisp clarity. He said being with me is what makes it feel like a real holiday. Unloved one is the real third wheel. A deathly silence filled the room. But then, an even more dramatic turn of events unfolded. After a brief pause, that voice message automatically started playing a second time. Director Lin, Mr. Liu, spent the entire New Year's Eve and day with me. He said being with me is what makes it feel like a real holiday. Lively, full of life. The unloved is the real third wheel. The one who isn't loved is the real third wheel. Each word stabbed the heart. Clatter. Wang Xiaoying's teacup slipped from her grasp. She didn't notice the scalding tea. The poised, aristocratic mask on her face shattered completely. All that remained was an ugly, livid pallor. She boasted of her son and daughter-in-law. The next, the perfect facade she so carefully cultivated, was utterly crushed by that short voice message. Dozens of pairs of eyes snapped out of their shock. In unison, they turned from my unnervingly calm face and swiveled sharply towards the man beside me, my confident husband, Liu Chen. All the color drained from his face. His lips moved soundlessly, unable to form a single word. I could feel the rigid tension in his body, and the sheer, bone-deep panic seeping out of him. He became the sole clown at this New Year's feast, stripped naked, and held over the flames for all to see. And me? I never once looked at him. No tears, no tantrums. Not even a hint of the breakdown they were all waiting for. Instead, under the suffocating weight of everyone's stares, I tapped my phone screen. In front of all the Liu family and their guests, I saved that heart-piercing voice message to my collection. How that family dinner ended in chaos, I barely recall the details. Only the flicker in the relatives' eyes, the abandoned pleasantries. As they grabbed their coats and made hasty excuses to leave. As if afraid of catching some bad luck or desperate to escape. An awkward spectacle of the wealthy. The noise and crowd were gone, leaving wreckage and oppression. As the front door slammed shut, the last shred of their pretense was ripped away. I turned to go upstairs. But Wang Xiaoying, her fury no longer containable, yanked me back. She dragged me to the master bedroom. Lu Chen stormed in after us, the door clicking shut with finality. Wang Xiaoying turned the lock, sealing us in the suffocating space. The air froze solid. Her chest heaved with rage. Her well-maintained face contorted into something ugly. She didn't question her son about his infidelity. Instead, she turned on me, jabbing a finger in my face. Spittle flew as she screamed. Are you out of your mind? On New Year's, no less. In front of all our elders, you play that filth. Is this your sick idea of ruining our New Year? You did this on purpose. You wanted to humiliate us. Wanted the whole family to lose face. What, cat got your tongue? My silence only fueled her fire. Her voice turned shrill. I always knew that meek act of yours was fake. But I never imagined you were this scheming. Plotting this all along, were you? You won't be happy until you've torn this family apart. You ungrateful snake. The Lu family treated you well. And this is how you repay us? Lu Chen stood to the side, yanking his tie off and tossing it on the bed in irritation. He glanced at me, still quiet and unmoving. The panic in his eyes faded, replaced by something else. The bluster of a man caught red-handed. He stepped forward. He stood between us, pretending peace but saving himself. Mom, enough. Calm down. Wei Wei, she probably just lost her head for a moment. Then he turned to me, his brow furrowed. His tone was pure, condescending disappointment. That recording, about that secretary. She was drunk. Spouting nonsense. It's just office politics. You know how it is. Sometimes people get the wrong idea. A one-sided crush. And you took it seriously? Brought it to a family dinner? What were you thinking? Causing a scene like this? He paused, his voice growing even more self-righteous. Sue Warner, she's just a naive girl. Fresh out of college, desperate for a shortcut. I was working late that day. She must have imagined things. Why are you even bothering with her? As my wife? As the young madam of the Lu family, can't you be more gracious? A duet. That's the only word that came to mind. I looked at the two of them. A mother-in-law, selfish, vicious, twisting the truth. A husband, a liar through and through, with no backbone. In perfect harmony, they shifted all the blame onto me. The victim. The cheater bears no fault. The humiliated one becomes the criminal. The other woman is innocent. The wife is the one lacking grace. This is what I endured for 3 years. Gave my all for. And still, I'm the outsider. Even when they insulted my family, I didn't utter a single word. I didn't even show a flicker of anger or sadness. I was like a spectator watching from the sidelines, coldly observing two pathetic clowns putting on a desperate show. I wanted to see just how low they could go. This whole charade of twisting the truth. How far could they take this farce? Seeing my continued silence, Lu Chen probably thought I was at a loss for words. Or that I bought his twisted logic. He secretly sighed in relief. His tone softened as he tried to reach for my hand. All right, let's just put this behind us. I'll fire that secretary later. Apologize in the family chat, say it was a prank. We can still save face. His hand froze midair as I sidestepped his touch. I ignored his suspended hand and didn't respond. Wang Xiaoying was still yapping on with her accusations. I walked to my desk in the corner. Taking out a key, I unlocked the drawer that had been sealed shut. The abuse halted for a second. Both Wang Xiaoying and Lu Chen stared at me, confused. From the drawer, I pulled out a document I'd already printed. Neatly bound together. The paper was light. But in that moment, it felt unbearably heavy in the air. Holding the file, I walked up to Lu Chen. My face was as calm as stagnant water. Not a single ripple of emotion. Are you done? I asked flatly. My voice wasn't loud, but it cut through, and silenced all the leftover noise in the room. Lu Chen was stunned. What? I thrust the document right under his nose. My tone was completely flat, like I was discussing the weather. If you're done talking, then sign this. We're getting a divorce. The room instantly plunged into a silence deeper, more absolute than at dinner. Lu Chen was floored, staring at the document, now right before his eyes. At the 5 bold, black characters on the cover, divorce agreement, they stung his eyes. He had imagined countless ways I might react. Sobbing hysterically, questioning him, begging, even running to his mother to complain. But he never, ever expected this. No tears. Just a meticulously prepared agreement. And this terrifying, dead silence. It meant that while he was still racking his brains, trying to paper over the cracks, I had already made the decision to leave. That this agreement had probably been sitting in this drawer for a very long time, quietly waiting for this day. A strange, chilling dread crept up Lu Chen's spine, followed by fury at his humiliation and challenged authority. Lu Chen violently snatched the agreement without even reading it. He slammed it onto the floor with a sharp crack. He swept a contemptuous gaze over me, a cold smirk curling his lips. Linwei, what game are you playing now? Using this to threaten me? You think I'm scared? Wang Xiaoying shrieked. There it is. I knew you were just in it for the money. I always knew you married into this family for wealth. Now you get leverage and think you can walk away? Dream on. Lu Chen took a step forward, closing in on me. His tall frame loomed over me, oppressive and intimidating. He lowered his voice, dripping with disdain and menace. Linwei, don't push your luck. Without me, without the Lu family. Do you really think you can survive? Everything you have now. Your position, your glamorous life. Which part wasn't given by me? Want a divorce and money? You're living in a fantasy. In his eyes, I was nothing but a parasite, clinging to him for survival. Without the host tree, I'd just wither and die. Looking at this man I once shared a bed with, the last trace of warmth a wife might hold in her eyes was utterly extinguished. The person standing before me now was just a despicable stranger. A piece of trash I was about to sweep clean out of my life. I didn't bend down to pick up the agreement he'd thrown. Nor did I respond to his pathetic threats. I simply took my phone from my pocket. Right in front of Lu Chen and Wang Xiaoying, I calmly dialed a number. It was answered on the first ring. Watching Lu Chen's face gradually stiffen, I spoke clearly into the receiver. Attorney Wang. Regarding the prenuptial asset declaration I commissioned, and the evidence preservation for recent financial movements, we can proceed to the next step. A steady voice replied from the other end. Understood, Ms. Lin. All documentation is prepared. We are ready to initiate proceedings at any time. Meeting Lu Chen's gaze, now shifting from shock to suspicion, and even beginning to flicker with fear. When did you? His voice was hoarse. A long time ago, I cut him off. From the first time you stayed out all night. And brushed it off as working late. From when Su Wan'er's name started appearing frequently on your itinerary, even on your private expense reports. From when you used funds that were supposed to be our joint assets to bail out that bottomless pit called Grand Vision Construction. With every sentence, Lu Chen's face grew paler. He never imagined his docile wife, only good for managing the household, was fully aware of everything he'd done. I called his name, icy and alien. Did you really think I was still that naive girl fresh out of college? The one who looked at you with stars in her eyes 3 years ago? For 3 years, I've combed through your contracts, cleaned up your messes, and held your clients' hands. Do you honestly believe I'm still that useless accessory? The one who couldn't survive a day without you? Wang Xiaoying was lost, but words like asset verification, evidence preservation, and a grand vision triggered a primal fear. What evidence? What game, Linwei? I ignored her, my eyes locked on Lu Chen. You don't have to sign the divorce papers. We can let the courts decide. But then, it won't just be marital assets on the chopping block. The books at Grand Vision Construction. I'm sure the tax authorities would find them fascinating. Lu Chen's pupils dilated. Grand Vision. The shell company he and his father used to siphon funds to bleed the Lu Group dry. Their most guarded, fatal secret. He thought it foolproof, even the old foxes missed it. How did I know? And the tax bureau? Panic swallowed him whole. He pointed a trembling finger at me. You've been investigating me? Protecting my legal interests isn't investigation, Mr. Lu. I tilted my head slightly. A faint, utterly cold smile touching my lips. You taught me well these past few years. At least I learned how not to walk away empty-handed. Over my dead body. She lunged for my phone. I sidestepped her easily, pulled the door open, and slipped out. One last look at the pale, furious pair. The lawyer's letter will be sent to the office. See you in court, Lu Chen. The click of the latch shut out the suffocating screams. I didn't go to the so-called master suite. I headed straight for the forgotten guest room. Sparse, simple, but in this ice-cold mansion, it was my only refuge. Locked the door, slid down, sat on the floor. No tears. Just a hollow, gaping void where my heart used to be. Furious mother and son. Lawyer's letter to the company. Lu Chen, see you in court. I gently closed the door, shutting out the suffocating arguments and insults. I didn't return to the so-called master bedroom. Instead, I went straight to the nearly forgotten guest room at the hall's end. Simple, but my only refuge in this cold mansion. I locked the door, slid down, back against it. No tears. My heart felt hollow, as if carved out. The cold wind was howling through, but strangely enough, numb, not pain, a relief. That string I'd been holding taut for so long finally snapped. My meek mask finally torn off. From my small carry-on bag, I took out another phone, one I rarely used. I powered it on and logged into an encrypted cloud storage account. Inside, meticulously organized, was every piece of evidence I'd collected over the past year, through every means possible. Intimate photos of Lu Chen and Su Wanner. Some of them were even taken inside our marital home. Lu Chen's private transfers to Su Wanner. Su Wanner's veiled, bragging posts on social media. Screenshots of Lu Chen funneling company funds into Grand Vision Construction's financial records. And the voice recording I'd saved from the family dinner just now. It had automatically synced here too. I stopped being that naive little fool a long time ago. From the initial shock and heartbreak of the first discovery, to the self-doubt and swallowing my pride that followed, to this final, cold-hearted resolve and planning. No one knows the torment I went through to get here. I know Lu Chen and that mother of his all too well. Selfish liars won't let me go. So I have to be colder, more ruthless than them. I had to prepare first. I sent a message to Lawyer Wang. Agreement presented, hostile refusal. Proceed with Plan B application. Freeze Grand Vision assets. Lawyer Wang replied quickly, received. Documents prepared. Will submit to the court first thing tomorrow morning. Also, the draft of the tax evasion report has been sent to your email. I opened my email and carefully reviewed the report. Professional, meticulous, hitting right where it hurts. I know once this document is submitted, what the Lu family faces won't just be a divorce settlement. It'll be utter ruin. But is that my fault? They chose this path. They dug their own grave. All I'm doing is dragging what they did out into the light. No one in the Lu family mansion slept that night. From the direction of the master bedroom, I could hear muffled roars and the sound of things being smashed. Wang Xiuying's shrill curses echoed. Meanwhile, in the guest room's single bed, wrapped in a thin blanket. First full night's sleep, no nightmares. No waking up in a cold sweat. The next day, I rose early. I put on my usual flawless makeup. Slipped into a sharp professional suit. As I came downstairs, bumped into a haggard Lu Chen. Just as haggard. Wang Xiuying forces her lady of the house act. Congee and dishes sit untouched. The moment Wang Xiuying sees me, she puffs up like a fighting cock. How dare you show up? Get out. As if I didn't hear her, I walk straight to the sideboard. Pour myself a glass of water and take a slow sip. Lu Chen stares at me darkly. Overnight. A dark stubble covers his jaw, and his eyes are bloodshot. Lin Wei. His voice is hoarse. Let's talk. Last night. I was too impulsive. Divorce is a big deal. No need to make it so ugly. We can discuss this further. Discuss what? I set my glass down, my tone flat. Discuss how you can enjoy having your cake and eating it too. While I keep playing the part of your Lu family's dutiful ornament? Or discuss how you want me to turn a blind eye. While you siphon assets and dodge taxes? Lu Chen slams the table, face pale. What asset siphoning? What tax evasion? Lin Wei, I'm warning you, don't spout baseless accusations. That's slander. Whether it's slander, you'll find out soon enough. I glance at my watch. Right about now. The courts and the tax bureau should be open for business. Right on cue, Lu Chen's phone starts vibrating wildly. He looks at the caller ID, it's the company's CFO. His face changes. He steps aside to answer. I catch only fragments of his hushed, panicked voice. What? The accounts are frozen? Who did this? The tax people are here? How is that possible so fast? He hangs up. Lu Chen whips around to face me. His eyes filled with utter disbelief and terror. You. What did you do? What did I do? A slight curve touches my lips. I merely fulfilled my duty. As a law-abiding citizen and filed a report, Mr. Lu. Shouldn't the relevant authorities be made aware? Lin Wei, are you insane? You're trying to destroy the Lu family. Wang Xiuying finally catches on and shrieks, lunging forward. But a single icy glare from me freezes her in place. Destroy you? I repeat the phrase, finding it bitterly ironic. Mother-in-law, back when you all teamed up to deceive me. To use me, to treat me like a fool, did you ever consider today? Lu Chen kept a mistress outside, spending my money. Exploiting my connections, and you all thought it was perfectly fine. I was always the unreasonable one. When I simply expose what you've actually done, suddenly I'm the one trying to destroy you? I take 2 steps closer. Looking at Lu Chen, his face contorted with fear and rage. Lu Chen, you know what disgusted me most these past 3 years? It wasn't your infidelity. It was your hypocrisy and stupidity. You want the devotion and stability of a traditional wife. But you also crave the thrill and adoration of an affair. You want to use my skills to build your career. Yet deep down, you look down on me. You think everything I have is your charity. You're so arrogant. You can't even cook the books right. You really think you're the only clever one in this world? Shut up. Lu Chen, hit a raw nerve, turns red with rage. He raises his hand to hit me. I step back, steady on my feet. My gaze icy cold. Go ahead, take a swing. More evidence for domestic violence. Lu Chen's hand freezes midair, ultimately doesn't dare to come down. He's probably never seen me this sharp before. Those eyes that were always gentle and smiling are now just cold scrutiny and undisguised disgust. Oh, right. As if remembering something, I take a micro recorder from my bag and press play. Wang Xiuying's rant from the hallway yesterday comes through clearly. So what if a man plays around outside? That's his skill. Wang Xiuying's face instantly turns beet red. This recording. I switch off the recorder, speaking slowly. After Su Wan'er's act at dinner. I think the media friends would really enjoy it. A rich mother-in-law's wisdom is educational. You poisonous woman. Wang Xiaoying rages, almost fainting on the spot. I ignore them, pick up my bag and coat, and turn towards the main door. Linwei, stop. Lu Chen roars behind me. You think you've won? Let me tell you, even if Lu Group collapses, I won't let you off easy. I keep walking. Just give a slight, dismissive wave behind my back. We'll see. Stepping out through the Lu family mansion's heavy, carved door, the cold morning air hits my face. But I feel incredibly refreshed. Sunlight pierces the clouds, warming my skin. I take a deep breath. The boulder on my chest for 3 years shifts. I don't go to Lu Group. That place must be in complete chaos right now. I go straight to the downtown apartment I bought before marriage. The one that's been sitting empty. Great location. Top security, my planned escape route all along. Opening the door, the unused room smells a bit dusty. But the layout is good, the light is bright. I pull open the curtains, letting sunlight flood the room. Then I start methodically cleaning and tidying. The process feels like cleaning up the messy wreck of my last 3 years. In the afternoon, I open my laptop and log into a new work email. There's already a pile of messages waiting, including offers from headhunters. A few former clients I worked well with, who really valued my skills, reached out privately to check in. They even offered their help. There's also an update from lawyer Wang. Miss Lin, the court has accepted our asset preservation application. Lu Chen and his father, Lu Shinshan, have had some of their movable and immovable property frozen. Tax authorities inspect Lu Group. The initial feedback is quite interesting. Also, the filing materials for the divorce lawsuit are ready. We can submit anytime. Thanks. Lawyer Wang, you can go ahead and file the lawsuit materials. Set up meeting with Financial Deep Dives show. I have some interesting tidbits about the Lu Group I'd like to discuss with him. Financial Deep Dive is one of the most influential financial investigative outlets here, known for its sharp commentary. Chief Editor Zhou. I met him briefly at an industry forum once. He's a just, old-school journalist. Soon, lawyer Wang replied that a meeting was set for tomorrow, 3 p.m. at Blue Bay Cafe. After handling these things, I made a cup of coffee, sat on the sofa by the window, and quietly watched the traffic flow below. Now, it's time to focus on my career. I was originally the project director at the Lu Group. My capabilities were undeniable, but after marrying Lu Chen, to avoid conflict, care for family, I gradually stepped back to a supporting role, pouring more of my energy into supporting his career. Looking back now, it's laughable. What I nurtured with my talent and hard work was a tree that was rotten to its core from the start. But it doesn't matter. I'm only 28. There's still time. I opened my contacts, found a few names. Some were my capable former subordinates, who later left because they were fed up with Lu Chen's cronyism and chaotic management. Some were genuinely talented technical experts I met on projects, who were always sidelined and marginalized at the Lu Group. And 1 or 2 were friends who recognized my ability and had tried to poach me before. I sent them each a message, simple and direct. I've left the Lu Group, planning to start something on my own. Interested in talking? The responses came faster than I expected. Almost everyone expressed shock first, then concern, and finally, unwavering support. Siswei, you finally saw the light. That bastard Lu Chen never deserved you. I'm with you. Director Lin, when do we start? I'll help in any way I can. Watching the replies roll in on my screen, my eyes welled up for the first time. I see now, in this world, not everyone is as blind and heartless as the Lu mother and son. My worth. Never needing Lu's approval. The next few days, I was running non-stop, handling divorce and tax issues. On the other, setting up my own new company. I named it Stellar Consulting, symbolizing a fresh start and a complete break from my past with Lu Chen. I met with those like-minded partners. Fast cooperation, each with expertise, complementing each other perfectly. More importantly, despised Lu's reliance on connections, engaging in shady dealings. Wanted clean, professional business. We rented a small office in a downtown skyscraper. It wasn't big, but the view was expansive, the decor clean and modern. Standing by the floor-to-ceiling window, I could see half the city. This would be where our dreams set sail. Meanwhile, Lu Group collapsed faster than expected. The tax audit's intervention was like a sharp scalpel, easily slicing through the Lu Group's glossy exterior, exposing the festering sores within. Grand Vision first to fall. Exposed fake deals, financial holes. Were horrifying. Then, loans called, suppliers demanded payment. When the wall falls, everyone pushes. Lu Chen was scrambling, begging and pleading everywhere. But all those brothers from the old days were now avoiding him like the plague. His father, Lu Zhinshan, was so enraged. He had a stroke, survived. He was left half paralyzed, unable to speak. As for Wang Xiaoying, well, that goes without saying. Her mansion was seized to pay debts, her jewelry confiscated. She went from the pampered Mrs. Lu to a destitute debtor overnight. What shattered her even more was that recording of her about a man's capabilities. Reported online, spread fast, making her the laughingstock of the entire internet. She was used to being flattered and fawned over. She had never endured this kind of public shaming. Her mind quickly snapped. She'd cry one moment, laugh the next, muttering to herself. She was sent to a psych hospital. And that once arrogant, provocative mistress, Su Wanner. Her life was hard too. Lu Chen was struggling himself. How could he possibly spare a thought for her? Promises of apartments, cars, and goods vanished. She tried contacting Lu Chen, demanding a breakup settlement. She threatened him with secret tapes of his boasts about how he cooked the books. But that only sped up her downfall. Lu Chen's furious, threatening rant over the phone was recorded by her. Together with the earlier tapes, it became fresh evidence. She got no money and was taken by police on suspicion of extortion and involvement in economic crimes. Talk about karma coming full circle. My meeting with editor-in-chief Zhou went smoothly. I gave him materials lacking core legal evidence. Were enough to expose the Lu Group's internal chaos, nepotism, and hollowed-out business operations. Editor Zhou promised an in-depth investigation and a series of impactful reports. Ms. Lin, thank you for trusting our media outlet. Editor-in-chief Zhou said solemnly. The problems at the Lu Group aren't just the failure of one company. They're a microcosm of a toxic culture. Your courage will help more people see the truth. I just did what I thought was right. Once the reports were published, public opinion erupted. The Lu Group's reputation hit rock bottom. Their stock plummeted, bankruptcy was inevitable. Throughout all this, I maintained a low profile. I gave no interviews, said nothing about the Lu family. In public, my silence, ironically, earned me more respect and curiosity. That mysterious ex-wife of Lu Chen, the woman who left quietly, yet dealt the Lu Group a fatal blow. Rumors and speculations about me began to circulate, all tinged with a sense of awe. I poured all my energy into building up New Dawn Consulting from scratch. Our first project was helping a supplier on the brink of bankruptcy, one that was owed a massive sum by the Lu Group, with debt restructuring and business transformation. The owner of this company, a Mr. Li, was a straightforward, technically minded businessman. He'd endured plenty of Lu Chen's bullying in the past. When our team presented a detailed, actionable plan and through my connections, helped him secure new strategic investors and supply chain financing. Mr. Lee was so moved he nearly cried. Director Lin, no. Ms. Lin, I really don't know how to thank you. That bastard Luchan held back my payment for almost a year. If it weren't for you, my whole operation would have gone under. He gripped my hand and shook it hard. No need to thank me, Mr. Lee. Your reputation and products speak for themselves. We just connected the dots. It's a win-win partnership going forward. Stellar Consulting's reputation for efficiency started spreading in our niche circles. Even though our company is small and we're short-staffed, we give our all to every single case we take on. The solutions we provide genuinely solve problems. More and more clients started coming to us, and among them, a lot were former clients or partners of the Lu Group. They'd long been unhappy with Lu Group. Now, seeing me strike out on my own and proving my capabilities, they were willing to give their business to us to try. Lu Chen was convicted of major embezzlement and tax evasion. Given the scale and lack of remorse, sentences were combined. He got 12 years. When I heard the news, I was in the office with my team, in a meeting, discussing the risk points of a new project. My assistant whispered the news to me. I just nodded, acknowledged it, and signaled for the meeting to continue. Not a single ripple inside. It was like hearing news about a complete stranger. They say Lu Chen started writing me letters from prison. Piles of them. Full of regret, memories, pleas. But those letters never reached me. I'd already instructed my assistant and the building management. Anything mailed from that address, dispose of it immediately. Don't even tell me. His tears and apologies are laughably cheap. If he were still the glorious Mr. Lu, would he have even glanced at the ex-wife he once tossed aside like trash? No. His suffering now is only because he lost everything he once had. Not because he's realized his mistakes. And certainly not because he feels sorry for me. I don't need his apologies. That's an insult to the 3 years of my genuine devotion. I just need him, and the entire Lu family, to pay the proper price for what they did. Half a year later, Stellar Consulting moved into a bigger office. Our team doubled in size. We successfully completed several high-profile cases in the industry. And even in a public bidding process, we went head-to-head with some established consulting firms and won, securing a major government-backed industrial planning project. At the celebration dinner, everyone was excited. A young colleague who'd just joined had a few too many drinks. A drunk guy asked, V, are you a revenge novel heroine? Taking down cheaters, becoming a queen, so badass. How did you do it back then? Weren't you scared? The whole room went quiet, everyone's eyes fixed on me, waiting. I swirled my glass, the amber liquid inside catching the light. Scared? I smiled. Of course I was. Scared of losing my marriage. Scared of the unknown. Scared of the gossip, the judgment. Scared I wouldn't be strong enough to protect myself and the people I cared about. I paused, my gaze sweeping over the room. Over every young, eager face. But more than any of that, I feared a life of lies and humiliation. Afraid of becoming a version of myself I despise, weak, compliant. Afraid that one day, looking back, I'd be eaten alive by regret for not having the guts to break free. Herders don't stop for kindness. They just get worse. They take more. So when you're backed into a corner, the only thing left to do is turn around and face them. And you have to be colder, sharper, and smarter than they ever were. This isn't fantasy, I said, serious. This is survival. A woman's survival in this world. Especially a woman who wants to live on her own terms. Sometimes, you have to bare your teeth. Your softness, your kindness, that's for people who deserve it. Not for the greedy. Silence fell. Then erupted into thunderous applause. I looked at them. And a fierce strength surged through me. I wasn't fighting alone. I had a team who believed in me, who followed me. I had a company I built from the ground up. I had my dignity back, and my future. A few months later, I got a call from the prison. Luchan wanted to see me. Said he had something important to say. I refused. Lawyer Wang said Luchan contacted me. He wanted to meet. To apologize in person. He even said he was willing to make maximum concessions in the divorce settlement. Not that he had much left to concede. I had Wang relay a message for me, unnecessary. Mr. Liu and I are settled. We're done. Never seeing each other again is the best ending. Yes, settled. He paid for my 3 years of youth and devotion. With betrayal, lies, and humiliation. I collected that debt with cold retribution and absolute success, claiming back my justice and my future. Between us, the accounts are closed. Any more words would be a waste of breath. My life had turned a brand new page. No longer a wife, daughter-in-law, accessory. I am Lin Wei, founder of Stellar Consulting. A woman who relies on her own mind and abilities, in this cruel yet magnificent world, to carve out her own path. Occasionally, I catch a glimpse in the financial news about the Lu Group's bankruptcy, assets being auctioned off, Lu Xinshan critically ill, Wang Xiuying in a psychiatric hospital, fragments of reports about their dire situations. But I no longer concern myself with their joys and sorrows. Their life and death have long ceased to matter to me. My world is now filled with new challenges, new opportunities, new partners. I'm planning the company's next strategic move. Leading the team to overcome new project hurdles. Constantly learning to better myself. To keep up with the ever-changing market. I've also begun to open myself to new love. He's a gentle, refined university professor, a researcher. Pure-hearted, respects women, admires my independence and talent. We're comfortable together, taking things slow. Giving each other space. He's never asked about my past. Just focuses on being part of my present and future. On weekend afternoons, I sometimes visit his lab. Watching him in his white coat. Completely absorbed in the world under the microscope. He comes to my company too. Quietly waiting in a corner until I finish work. Then we take a walk, find a little restaurant for dinner. Chatting about trivial, warm, interesting things. This kind of simple, respectful affection gives me a sense of peace and security I've never known before. I finally understand, good love isn't about losing yourself. Becoming a better you. With a partner to walk beside you. Another bright, sunny morning. Standing in my top floor office at Stellar Consulting. With its incredible view, coffee in hand, I look down at this vibrant city. In the distance, the building that once belonged to the Lu Group now bears a new, more dynamic sign. My assistant knocks and enters. Director Lin, your video conference with the overseas investors is in 10 minutes. Alright, I'll be right there. I put down my cup. Straighten the lapel of my suit jacket. The woman in the mirror has determined eyes. A confident, composed smile at her lips. Having weathered the storms, stripped of pretense, she's finally herself. Independent and strong, gentle yet sharp, kind yet formidable. The pain of the past didn't destroy her. It became her armor's pattern, making her more beautiful. And more invincible. The road ahead is still long. But I know, whatever comes, I'll be ready. I have the ability and the courage to keep going, no matter what. Because Lin Wei is her own light, her own mountain. Lin Wei master her own destiny.